right, everyone. Welcome to a very special episode of A Programmer Blank. Um, Ordinarily, I play games, but over the past year, we've played a bunch of games, and I felt like sort of organizing them into a tier list. So, our tiers on this tier list, I'm not doing like the S, A, B, C, D, F thing. One, it's all subjective. But two, uh, getting a game published is a Herculean effort. And I don't feel like giving anyone an F for that. Even if they make a relatively bad game, it's crazy it's super hard to get a game published at all. So I don't want to give anyone a bad score. Just some of these are fine. Some of these I didn't like them, but that doesn't mean that nobody will like them. I've also got a special category you may notice down at the bottom here, the did not finish category. That does not mean bad. I want to emphasize that. Did not finish does not mean bad. It just means that for one reason or another, I didn't finish the game on stream. Most of the time it just came down to, hey, I wasn't in the mood for it. Because some of you are going to see pretty quickly, hey, that's an insane game to have in the did not finish category. But it is what it is. We'll talk about each one individually as we get to them. I've got the thumbnails for all this loaded up. We'll just put them into slots. The thumbnails are organized kind of alphabetically. So ironically, the first up on our list is the game that I literally just finished playing this evening, like 2 minutes ago. 8 Doors, Auram's Afterlife Adventure. It's a Metroidvania. I liked it pretty well. I'm going to put it under good. It was hurt by its translation a lot, but in general, pretty good time. Next, we have 9 Years of Shadows. I'm also going to put that in the good category. That was a pretty solid game. The story didn't necessarily do the best job of like setting you up for success, but once you were in it, it was fun. You had a halberd, you had different suits. It was a lot of fun. Arzette. You watch the trailer for Arzette and you're like, God, this game's got to be trash. Nope, it's actually outstanding. I think Arzette is a delightful game, and I'm shocked by that. I couldn't believe how much fun I had playing Arzette. But it's basically, hey, what if the CDI Zelda games were still being made? And somehow, weirdly, the story works, and it's fun and joyous and just really good time. So, yeah, Arzette, weirdly enough, is making it into the outstanding category. Astalon, Tears of the Earth. This is a must play. Astalon, Tears of the Earth might be my game of 2024. I loved it. And that's insane because when I first played this game, I somehow, being the hyper-focused idiot that I am, managed to not figure out that you can level up your characters. So I beat the game with unleveled characters. And then in my second, New Game Plus, realized, oh shit, I can be doing so much more damage with all of these characters. Whoops. So, yeah, if you like platformers, Metroidvanias at all, highly recommend checking out Astalon. It is incredibly worth your time. Conversely, Castle in the Darkness. This is as close to giving a game an F as I'm going to get. I did not have a good time playing Castle in the Darkness. Same developer as Astalon, but this game sucks. Don't play this game. I didn't enjoy it at all because it's just like super punishing. Instant kill spikes, really like counterintuitive design. Like, I did not have a good time with Castle in the Darkness. Do not recommend. Avoid. Did finish it because I'm stubborn, but Cave Story. Cave Story is somewhere between good and fine. I'm gonna put it in good, mostly out of respect for what it's done for the indie game scene. Um, it is a good game. It's just, to me, it's not perfect. There's a lot of choices in there that I think kind of go against the grain, but there's a lot of good stuff in there. So yeah, that's Cave Story. Death's Gambit Afterlife. I'm really torn about this one because a lot of this game I enjoyed a lot. Um, I actually beat it multiple times trying to get multiple different endings, and it didn't work out for me, and that kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. So I'm going to put it in fine. If you're more of a Soulsy player, I think it would rank higher. I'm not really a Soulsy guy, so it didn't super resonate with me. There's also just like, once you start a playthrough, you're kind of like locked into your class and you can't really experiment with the others. And so, like, just by design, you're only ever going to get like a thin slice of the game, and you'd have to completely replay it to get more of it. So, Environmental Station Alpha. It's been a while since we played this, so my memory's a little fuzzy, but I remember it being pretty good. I remember having a pretty good time with it. I definitely got myself killed in some pretty silly ways, but, overall, pretty good time. Fairy Afterlight. We played this early in the year, and honestly, I'm going to put it in fine. It's right on the edge of I didn't enjoy it and fine. I'm going to put it in fine. Because while I was playing it, it was okay. But this game's pretty rough around the edges and just could use a lot of love. Gato Roboto. This is a really interesting one because, honestly, when I played it this year, I didn't have a good time. When I first played it, when it first came out, I had a really good time. And then I got to the end of the game. And it's like a 3-hour game, tops. And when I played it this year, I think I beat it in 3 hours. My memory's really bad. It might have been more. But like, it felt really short, and it felt there wasn't much replay value, which is pretty bad for a short game. And it really crystallized for me a lot of my dislike for games that are 1-bit in color. I get when people go for the 1-bit aesthetic. Most of the time, I think it's a mistake. I don't care for the 1-bit aesthetic. And this, like, Astalon up here, this is like an 8-bit game. 8-bit. But, like, this has got, like, the pixel art limited color palette look. I'm for it. That's fine. But the 1-bit... Ghost Song. I'm putting Ghost Song in outstanding. I really enjoyed Ghost Song. The writing for Ghost Song really clicked for me. The music was nice. The world was lovely. Color palette really spoke to me. I had a good time playing with the weapons. I wish there was more of it. I wish there was like more depth. There were some things that were not very clear, but it worked for me. And it's interesting to contrast Ghost Song and Death's Gambit because they both do like that sort of 2D Dark Soulsy thing where they've really got a lot of like the numbers up in front of you, and it just worked better for me in Ghost Song. Haiku the Robot. I'm also gonna put that in outstanding. It's teetering on must play. Haiku the Robot's a really direct. Hey, it's taking too long to get more Hollow Knight. Here's some Hollow Knight. Solo dev project. This limited color palette, but not 1-bit, and like works. It works really well. So yeah, if you like Hollow Knight, you should play Haiku. It's a good game. Also, he's got another game out that's like an idle game you should check out called Rusty's Retirement. Hollow Knight, obviously, S tier. Hollow Knight, kind of the pinnacle of the genre for me. I love Hollow Knight, and I think that everyone should play it. All right. Next up, we've got Hoa. Actually, you know what? That is going to be too distracting for me. Sorry. Going back to no music. Hoa's a really interesting mix of... It's really short, and you kind of expect it to be really short, so that's fine. You don't actually get all that much, like, exploration. There's no, like... There are upgrades, technically, like, you get abilities, but there's not much going on with that. It's basically just like, hey, play a playable Ghibli experience. And honestly, like, yeah, sure. It succeeds in that. It's bordering on good just because of how well the music and the art is executed. But some of the gameplay stuff really like hurts it. Like there's like chase sequences and stuff that like you can't really do anything for. And the last level of it, I think, catches a lot of players by surprise because it's a huge step up in difficulty. It does stuff where the camera turns upside down and you're still controlling right ways up, and that really messes with people. So, yes, hello, cat. Yeah, I know. Next up, Hob. I think Hob's great. I really liked Hob. It's a Zelda like, um, made by the same people that made Torchlight. And it was a really great game. It needs an update that it's never going to get because the studio got shut down pretty much immediately after they published Hob. So that is a crying shame because the game does have a few rough edges that could have been sanded off with a 1.1 update that just never happened. And I hate that. Like, I really wish that we could get a Hob DLC that would fix a couple of little things. Maybe add like a few more enemy types, clarify a few things, do a little bit of polish. But overall, I still think it's a great game. I think people should play it. It's a good time. Hue. I'm gonna put Hue in good. Um, it's clever. The story works. Everything from a technical level works. There's a good bit of replay value because there's secrets hidden in there. Um, so yeah, I like Hue. It's fun. Hyperbolica. I'm gonna put Hyperbolica in fine. I should be the audience for Hyperbolica because I like weird 3D mind bending geometry stuff. It still was just fine for me. Um, it's really short. Um, the game's really focused on like making stuff work and making you not vomit. And so unfortunately, it doesn't really like get its hands very dirty with what's actually going on in the hyperbolic spaces. So that made it feel kind of shallow, and I didn't love the writing in it. That also felt maybe a little bit shallow, but it's a solo dev project and does some really cool stuff that you can't see anywhere else. So maybe check it out, but I didn't love it. Islets. I really liked Islets. Islets is fun. It's got good music, weirdly good music. The art style is really clear, communicates very clearly. Exploring's a lot of fun. Upgrading's a lot of fun. Um, I wish there was a bit more island to Islets, but overall, I had a good time with Islets. The last campfire, I'm going to put in good. Um, Again, really solid story. The whoever did the narration knocked it out of the park. The art's very cute and also like kind of like creepy, and I like that. I like that combo. Um, why did we scroll sideways? That's weird. Master Key. It's really hard for me to place Master Key in here. I think I'm gonna put Master Key in good. It's a Zelda like. It's got that one bit art that I don't care for, and multiple times in this game it did mess me up a little bit. Also, there's a couple of puzzles that it wasn't clear that I was doing the inputs wrong, and I was like, maybe I'm missing a piece of equipment or whatever, and that turned out to just not be the case. I just was bungling the inputs, so I hope Master Key gets a little bit of love, a little bit of a post facto update stuff. I don't know that it will, but I do know that there's a Master Key 2 coming along, so I will be playing that, and I'm hoping that that takes what worked in Master Key and sort of iterates on it. I anticipate that it will. Also, for what it's worth, Master Key got me back into playing nonograms all the time, and that's kind of like one of my go-to things to do when I've got downtime now. So, yeah, good stuff. Momodora, Moonlight Farewell, Moonlit Farewell. I'm putting it in fine. I wanted to put it higher, but I'm putting it in fine. because ultimately, it like the story wasn't super clear to me, and I don't know, like just a lot of the pieces just didn't quite mesh, and it didn't quite work. I don't know. I really like the team that makes the Momodora games. I hate that Minoria didn't do better, but yeah, wanted to love this one and just didn't. It's fine, possibly even good, but when I finished it, I didn't feel like it was that good. So we're calling it fine. Nier Automata did not finish, and I know that people are gonna be like, "What?" Let me defend myself. I have beaten Nier Automata all the way through. I have 100%ed Nier Automata and done the thing at the end of the last ending. I've been there, I've done that. I kind of think that the nature of Nier Automata, when you do that 100% run, when you get everything, it means that you've kind of seen a lot of the content multiple times and are maybe a little bit burnt out on some of it. It's even more true for Nier Replicant. So, first playthrough of Nier Automata, magical, great. Second playthrough, starting to get it's a little rough. If you add Nier Replicant into that mix, you've got a recipe to burn yourself out, and that's kind of what happened to me. I was in, I think, ending C of Nier Automata, and I was like, I want to play something different. I don't want to play through these same handful of robots doing the same things again and again this whole time. And some of that's my own fault because I'll fall into patterns in the combat and just do the same stuff. But yeah, after after enough hours of Nier Automata, you get kind of burnt out on it, and you're not really the game's not really about finding stuff and exploring, which is really what motivates me a lot in games, and so that's why I wasn't like super into it. All right, Oceanhorn, Monster of Uncharted Seas. Oceanhorn's good. I liked it. I had a good time playing it. It's another Zelda-like. It's way more colorful than Master Key. Originally made for the iPad, I believe. Um, it's got some rough edges. It's got some stuff that doesn't super work. But if you're just looking for a good time, yeah, Oceanhorn's a good time. It's a really fun game. Um, I'm really confused about why Oceanhorn 2 wasn't sorted alphabetically. Oceanhorn 2, by contrast, I think actually is the better game. I think Oceanhorn 2 does elevate up from where Oceanhorn 1 was. I was a little when I was playing Oceanhorn 2, I was like, I remember Oceanhorn 1 being like really good. Um, Replaying Oceanhorn 1, it's good. It is good. It's not quite as good as Oceanhorn 2, I think. I think Oceanhorn 2 does like sort of like deliver a bit better. Oceanhorn 2 does a better job of making the world feel more interesting. Also, it's got a more fun minigame baked into it. So, game developers, take note. Good minigames will carry you. I'm going to catch some flack for this. Ori and the Blind Forest is good. Incredibly emotional first 5 minutes. I'm not going to call it outstanding. I personally don't find the movement as like crisp as I want it to be. It's fluid, but it's not crisp. And there's a distinction there. There's more physics in Ori that like sort of like carry you through. Um, so yeah, I'm not putting it in outstanding. I'm putting it in good. So yeah, Overbowed. I want to put Overbowed in must play. I think I will. Overbowed. So this is kind of like the proof against why I don't like the 1-bit stuff. Overbowed is, I think, 4-bit, maybe 2-bit. I think really it's 4-bit color. It's limited color palette, original Game Boy style. But that extra couple of colors helps so much with the clarity of what's going on and the depth of the artwork, and just makes the game work so much better. Just being able to see what the hell's going on. I really liked Overboat. I really liked the combat. I liked the upgrades. I liked the exploration. Really good time. Some of the secrets were maybe a little too tricksy for me, but we got there in the end. It was a good time. Patch Quest. I've been following the devlogs for Patch Quest 4 forever, which might have negatively affected my enjoyment and made me sort of pause on playing it. It goes into the did not finish. Um, I I think just like with Patch Quest, because I already knew so much of what was going to come, um, that sort of ruined some of the excitement for me. And that I hate that because I love devlogs. I think devlogs are great. I love watching them on YouTube. I really enjoy his devlogs in particular because he gets really into the nitty gritty and talks about the pros and cons of stuff and like, hey, I'm having to make this sacrifice in order to make this other thing work. Um, and I want more developers to do that. But when I was playing Patch Quest, I was like, man, I'm just not like excited about the next run. And some of that comes down to I'm not really a roguelite guy. Um, so I don't know. Sort of a combination of not really all that excited about like I don't really feel like I'm playing a Metroidvania. I'm not like dungeon delving. I'm running through some procedural weirdly abstract hallways. I think part of it is that it does the patches feel so artificial, and part of that's by design. Like that's the world. It's literally in the name, Patch Quest, but it feels so like, hey, we spawned a bunch of PNGs into the screen, run around on them, and it doesn't feel like I'm exploring a place. So that really hurt the game and made me ultimately put it down and not come back. Rebel Transmute. I'm gonna put Rebel Transmute in good. I kickstarted Rebel Transmute, and it delivers on the like old school Metroid like kind of crunchy fun. It's getting an update soon. I'm hoping that the update fixes some of the issues that I had with it because there were some rough edges that were not great. Some of the abilities, how you used them, was not totally clear, and that meant that knowing where to go next wasn't totally clear. That was my big critique. Problem that I had with Rebel Transmute was that I did get soft locked in my first save file and had to redo all of that progress. But with the knowledge that I had from that first one, I was able to get through there much quicker. So I didn't hold it against it too much. But yeah, Rebel Transmute, it's good. You should check it out. Shantae and the Seven Sirens, also good. It's a fun game. It's got the Seven Sirens iterates on some of the stuff in the Shantae series in a really positive way, in my opinion. Um, the monster cards in particular really help the series. So yeah, I really like Seven Sirens. I also really liked Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. I don't know why this sorted these this way, but whatever. I really like the abilities in Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. I'm tempted to bump this up to outstanding, but there is a point in the game where you're like, I don't have a reason to fight these enemies anymore. Um, that Seven Sirens fixed with the monster cards, but sort of fixed with the monster cards. Um, but that really hurt the back half of Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. So I'm keeping it in good, bordering on outstanding. Smooshy Come Home. Smooshy Come Home is a must play. Y'all should check out Smooshy Come Home. It's so wholesome. It's a lot of fun. The characters are really cute. The music's cute. The art's cute. It's just a really good time. Everyone should check out that game. It's a lot of fun. SteamWorld Dig, I'm gonna put in outstanding. That's a great game. It's a great Metroidvania. There's a lot of fun stuff that you find. You get a lot of cool abilities, a lot of upgrades. The core gameplay loop of SteamWorld Dig is really good. That dig down into the ground, delve deeper, then come back to town and sell your stuff, and then do it again, and then get abilities, and then go deeper. Like that's a really good gameplay loop. Um, and SteamWorld Dig 2 takes that and I think actually manages to bump it all the way up into must play. SteamWorld Dig 2 expands on the concept and makes it work even better. Um, More abilities, more world, deeper art. It's good stuff. Really like SteamWorld Dig series. Bug Fables. Also going into did not finish. Mostly because I as I was playing it, I was like, I don't know that this is a great fit for my channel. Bug Fables has a lot of dialogue, and I'm not a narrator. I don't have a strong voice. I can't do voices for characters, and like by the time I got to the end of my first Bug Fable stream, I was like dying. Um, so that the really dialogue heavy games maybe aren't for me on stream. Um, so yeah, I really like the game. I kickstarted it way back in the day. I 100%ed it back when it first came out. Um, I do think that people should play Bug Fables. I just didn't finish it on stream this time because I've done it before and was realizing, hey, this is not a great fit for my content. Unworthy. Also, going into did not finish. And this is the first one where it really kind of like fits. Unworthy was punishing. It had that that Dark Souls thing. The tagline I think has something about like a Metroidvania without jumping. I didn't like it. Um, there's a lot in Unworthy that I liked that did do clever stuff. There is good map design in Unworthy, but ultimately I got to a boss and I was like, oh, you know what? Before I challenge this boss again, I'll grab a couple levels. And I stepped outside and got like cheaply like stun locked and killed by a monster and lost all of my souls. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not having a good time. That has annoyed me. Why am I playing this game? Why am I spending my time on a game that I don't like? Especially when like it's got this like it's not 1-bit art style. It's grayscale, but don't love that art style. Use more colors, game developers. Wavetail. I think I might put I'm going to put Wavetail in fine. I'm close to putting it into I didn't enjoy it. I wanted to like Wavetail. Like I was pretty excited about it. I think I bought it at full price at one point. Um, but there was a fair number of decisions in there that didn't sit well with me. And some of them I'm sure are just like technical complexity problems. Like getting locked into stuff and not being able to do stuff. Sure. But also just like there's a lot of squandered opportunity in that game. Like it needed collectibles like just on the islands. Like, you'd go to these islands and there'd be no reason to be there, and you're like, come on, man, put some little Mario coins here for me to like find and collect and feel good about myself. Also, just some of the characters were so unlikable. Holy shit, your grandmother sucked in that game, and I love my grandmother, so it did not sit well with me. So yeah, I'm putting in fine. The game's not fundamentally broken, and skating around in the ocean on the ocean is fun, but it's got a lot of problems, and that hurt the game a lot for me. Yoku's Island Express is an outstanding game. If you like pinball at all, you should check it out. If you like Metroidvanias, you should check it out. It's not quite a must play, but it's almost a must play. It's a really fun game, banger soundtrack, really unusual. Like no other game plays like this game. Definitely, I recommend checking it out. Zapling Bygone, I'm gonna put it in fine. There's a lot in Zapling Bygone that is good, but also there's some stuff that I didn't care for. So ultimately, it kind of ended up for me being kind of a wash. The story, parts of it grabbed me and parts of it didn't. And some of the like unlockables looked like just like AI generated. Honestly, they look like Google Dream generated stuff, and that didn't sit right with me. Um, and just like the way that some of the art stuff was implemented didn't work for me. So I wanted to like Sapling Bygone more than I did. Ultimately, the cons and the pros sort of balanced each other out, and I was just like, yeah, it's fine. Mika and the Witch's Mountain. This is another one where the cons and the pros sort of found a weird balance. It's a really short game, which is a running problem for that studio. GBG makes games that don't have enough content in them. Mika and the Witch's Mountain, the flying around is fun. The characters are charming enough. But when you pay what you pay for the game, it feels like not enough. Like you're just like, this is like a really expensive episode of an anime. There's not enough gameplay here, and it's frustrating because you're like, it wouldn't be that much for you to like. It doesn't seem like it would be that hard for them to hide another kind of collectible about the island and introduce some more, like, hey, these characters need things delivered. Like, come up with some dailies, so to speak. Like, hey, here's some mail. Do some mail. That's the premise of the game. And also there's some like forced failures, which I get. Like that's the story that it's telling, and that you have to have those forced failures for the story to really make sense. But it feels bad at the time, so don't love it. I wanted to like Mika so much more, and ultimately, they could have done more with the concept, and that really brought it down. And last but not least, Monster Boy. Monster Boy's good. It's not outstanding, but it's a good time. I enjoy Monster Boy, and I had a good time playing it. I wish that some parts of it worked a little bit better, but yeah. Overall, that's my rankings. That's my tier list. So everyone must play. You're hearing it from me. You must play Astalon Tears of the Earth, Hollow Knight, Overbode, Smooshie Come Home, and SteamWorld Dig 2. And if you're looking for a good time, RZ, Ghost Song, Haiku, Hob, Islets, Oceanhorn 2, SteamWorld Dig, and Yoku's Islands Express, very solid. We won't run through all the rest of these. But yeah, that's what I played this year on Steam. It kind of boggled my mind once I started scraping all these images together how many of them there were. I didn't realize how many games I played, but this is like 39 games or something like that. Like, goodness me. It's been a busy year. It's been a lot of Metroidvanias and some other stuff. Hyperbolica, obviously not a Metroidvania. Mika's delivery service, not a not a Metroidvania. But most of these, I'm sticking to a theme. I know what I like. So, and we can see actually, like down in my did not finish, 3 of the 4 did not finishes. I didn't finish because they weren't Metroidvanias. They weren't good fits for me. Only one of these was a Metroidvania that I was like, what, screw it. And this one, even Unworthy, is kind of, it's on the edge. The whole not having a jump thing, which is one of the most distinctive parts of Metroidvanias. So, yeah, that's my list. I hope you guys enjoy this. I know this is like a weird thing, but it seemed like a good way to cap out the year. Yeah, that was 2024. Today, right now, is December 31st, 2024. It's about to be New Year's celebration in my house, so I'm going to go do that. And I hope all of you will join me next year as we continue playing more games and hopefully getting a little deeper into how they're made. So, yeah, fun stuff. I'll see you next time. Bye.